Hey there, everyone. Avra here with Cami. I am joined today by my colleague Margie, and we are going to chat about some of the really cool tools that you can use in Cami with math activities. And actually, as we are showing these to you, you may think of other things besides math that you could use these tools for. So, Margie, you want to say hi?
Hi, everybody. My name's Margie, and I'm another one of the teaching and learning coordinators here at CAMI.
Yay! So I asked Margie if she would help me make this video today because I'm not as great with math as I am in other subject areas. Full transparency. We all have our strengths. So I've asked Margie if she would share her screen. Before she does, just to let you know, we were looking at an activity and looking for some ways that we could use things like our ruler tool and our shapes tool just to kind of demonstrate for you guys what's possible with Cami. So that being said, Margie, you want to take it away and share your screen?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, so we've got an activity here today about doing just some basic problem solving. So imagine this. It's pizza party time, and you have two pizzas with 8 slices each. You want to share them equally with four friends. How much pizza will each person get? Every kid I know loves pizza, so really relevant to their life. But let's talk about how they can use some of these math tools. The first thing students need to do is make a model. So, how can we show this pizza? Avra, what would you do? What tool would you recommend?
I typically, and I'm very picky about this, I typically like my pizza to be round. So I think I would probably start by drawing a shape and heading to that shapes tool, Margie. But I'm wondering, like, if you draw that circle, sometimes when I draw a circle in certain programs, it ends up kind of being an oval. So you'll have to show us, is there a way to make a perfect circle in Cami?
Yeah, so on your shapes tool, when you choose to insert the ellipse, pro tip, you can make those perfect straight lines or perfect shapes if you hold down the shift button on your keyboard. So as I'm creating this circle, I'll make two. Here's one where I'm just going to click and drag. Now notice my pizza is fully filled in. That is because this shape, the stroke thickness is set to fill. So if you don't want that filled in shape, you can click on that top option, that drop down box, and change the stroke thickness to whatever you like. So this time I'll do maybe a 4, so we've got a nice thick line we can see. And here's kind of that outline.
Awesome.
Now, if I just click and drag, you can see I'm not going to get that perfect circle. But if I hold down the shift key, this time it locks the ratio of that circle, and you can kind of see the radius on the circle too, that little red dotted line for me as I'm drawing. So you can adjust and make the perfect circle.
Awesome.
And now that I've got that perfect pizza, let's move it over. Now we're getting two pizzas with 8 slices each. And Avra, I know you love circle pizzas, and I do too. But as a former math teacher, I'm actually going to recommend that students make a rectangle when they're drawing their pizza because it's easier to divide evenly.
Oh, maybe see, I needed you by my side when I was doing math class, Margie. That's awesome to know. Good deal. Okay. So see, I just went with, cheesy deliciousness and I wasn't thinking about making math easier. So by all means, keep showing me. This is awesome.
Okay, so I've grabbed the rectangle from the shapes menu. I'm going to hold down my shift key so that I can draw. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to hold down shift. That gives me a square.
Oh, interesting. So when you hold down the shift and you've got the ellipse, that's going to make a perfect circle. But when you're using that rectangle tool, it's going to make a perfect square. Interesting. Later on, you'll have to show me, Margie, what happens with the triangle.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so here's my rectangle, and I want to make two that are exactly the same. So instead of trying to draw another rectangle, what I'm actually going to do is come over here to the select tool, and I'm going to hit this bottom option, select annotations. When you do select annotations and then click on something you've added to the page, this is where you can find the menu to copy and paste. Did you know that, Avra?
That's awesome. I forget about that a lot, but yeah, I did know that, but it's not one of those things that I feel like I use enough. And so it's a wonderful thing to mention here. I love it.
Yeah. So now that I know I have two rectangles that are exactly the same, let's go ahead and get rid of that circle there. Now I'm ready to divide these pizzas up so that each person can share them. And I see that we are going to have 8 slices in each pizza. So that means the first thing I need to do is I need to add some lines. Now, since we want to do a fair share, this is a great opportunity to grab the ruler. And the ruler, if you didn't know, is nested underneath the drawing tool. So you have to click on drawing to be able to access things like the ruler, the protractor, and the compass. For the ruler, when you first take that out, in the middle here, those are your controls. So you can tilt the ruler if you need to. You can quickly put it away. Or if you've got your cursor over top of the ruler, you can grab and drag it around to move it where you need it to go. Let's do some quick measurement. I see, oh, I have made some 5.5 centimeter pizzas here. 5.5 can be a little tricky to divide. What if we make these each a little bit bigger?
So interesting, Margie. After you've drawn a shape, you're actually able to change the dimensions. Can you also change the line thickness of the shape once you've drawn it?
You can. When you are on top of any of your annotations, when you click on them, you get an action bar that brings up all sorts of things that you can customize.
Cool.
Shapes, you could change the thickness. So you can even make it a filled in shape if you forgot to do that the first time and that's what you actually wanted. You can change the transparency. You can even change things like the type of line you've drawn it with. So for example, if I needed a dotted line instead of a solid line, you can do that right from the action bar.
Neat. That's really cool. Good to know.
All right, so let's cut this pizza up. If you have the time to grab that ruler and get your exact measurements, one thing you could do is have your students use this to measure. And when you've got the ruler out, you can actually draw along the edge of the ruler. So if you needed to mark certain intervals, you can do that along the edge.
Cool.
Now, if you don't need the exact measurements, maybe you're just making a model where you need to quickly divide things up. You could just grab the drawing tool and I'll do a stroke thickness of 2 and we'll put it in orange so we can kind of see it. And let's just divide this up. So now, pro tip, I can't draw a straight line to save my life. Do you see how crooked this came out?
That's how mine would look. Absolutely.
Oh no. So instead of trying to draw it by hand, I'm going to hold down that shift key again so that I can get a perfect straight line. Now I can slant it if I want, depending on where I've put my mouse, but I can get it to be perfectly straight. So that is much better. So I've got 2 pieces. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll cut it right in half here. 5, 6, 7, 8. And if that doesn't look quite even, I can always grab my select tool and then I can drag and move that entire line that I just drew around.
Beautiful. There we go. Well, that looks pretty good.
All right. So I've cut up the first pizza. I probably need to do that to the second pizza as well. So this time, instead of doing the drawing tool, what if we just use the line? The line is under the shapes tool. It's down here at the bottom.
Oh, cool.
This time, when I want to use the line, I'm still going to do that trick where I hold down the shift key to get my straight line. But look how much faster this is to get those straight lines. And I won't click as quickly this time. If you'll notice, it'll even tell you the degrees and the measurement for the line.
That's cool.
Now, same thing with the line tool. If you hover over any of those annotations to get the action bar, with the line tool, you can actually not only change it from a solid line to a dotted line, you can actually add arrows on one or both ends of the line if you need to.
That's really neat. Can you zoom in a little bit, Margie, so we could see that even just a little bit better?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So it was a little bit hard to see the ends of those arrows, but now I can so clearly see that line there on the left definitely has the arrow points at the ends.
Yeah, let me show you again. So I came right here. I made a new line. This icon with the two arrows pointing in opposite directions is how you changed it from solid to dashed.
Perfect.
And you can add
The right
arrows
arrow.
on
Yep.
both ends or either end, or take them off again if you didn't want them there.
Wow, that makes it a really flexible tool and easy if you've, made a decision, but then maybe changed your mind and you don't want it to be a dashed line after all. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and really good for those upper levels of math too, when you get into more complex topics.
For sure. Absolutely. Well, this has been great. So can you show us also then, remember we were talking just about the different shapes and that shift tool. So we saw it created that straight line, it created that perfect square, perfect circle. What were you saying about the triangle?
Oh, yeah, let me show you the other shapes. With the triangle tool, if you just click and drag, you're going to get kind of the triangle you might think of when you're teaching littles about shapes, right? There's that equilateral triangle. And if you notice, I'm still holding down my mouse button to click and drag. So as I'm going, it's also giving me the angles on each side as well as markings for the sides that are congruent. But if you want to draw a right triangle, you need that perfectly straight edge.
Oh,
That's where the shift key comes in.
interesting. See, this is why I brought Margie along today, friends, because she knows words like right, angle, and congruent. Those are things that are like flashbacks to maybe fifth or sixth grade for me, and it's been a while.
All good, Abra. I got you.
I love it.
It also works with the polygon tool. And the polygon tool, if you haven't seen that, that's for anything that's got more than 4 sides. So you can see the last thing I was doing was making something with 20 sides. Why I was making something that big, I couldn't tell you because I don't remember. But you can go and change this number with the up or down arrows so you can customize it. So maybe you want to make that perfect octagon. Maybe you need a stop sign on your assignment. If you don't hold down the shift key, this is kind of fun. As you twirl it around, you'll see
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
still holding the right shape and it's still giving me all the angle measurements. And if I hold down the shift key, this time that ratio is locked for me. So instead of being able to spin around, I'm just making it bigger or smaller.
Perfect. Love that. And you can fill that in too, right?
Yeah, anytime you've made an annotation, not just clicked again, there we go. Oh, pro tip, be on the select tool when you want to get to that action bar. Because if you're still on the shapes tool and you click again, the computer's going to think you're trying to make a new shape. So now that I'm on the select tool and I'm hovering over it, I can see that action bar and I can do everything I need to. I can change the color, the font thickness, the transparency level, change the line style. I could even, for the polygon, change the number of sides if I picked maybe the wrong one.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's fantastic. So
Yeah.
you drew an octagon, you can change it into a hexagon by just using that action menu. Fantastic.
Lots of useful stuff hidden in there.
For sure. That's great. Awesome. I love it. All right, Margie, what were some of the other things we wanted to be sure to chat about? Oh, we wanted to make sure that folks knew how to use the screen capture tool. So I don't know if maybe you want to like zoom, like kind of zoom back out so we can see your margin and talk about the our comments tool, guys, is a pretty powerful tool. So Margie will show you by resting her mouse on the comment tool, you're going to see that we get kind of this sub menu. So if she clicks on comment, then the sub menu kind of pops out over there on the right, and you can see we've got the option for a text comment, which is just like your basic comment you'd find in slides or docs. But then below it, we've got a voice comment, we've got a video comment, but then that bottom one is a screen capture comment. And a screen capture comment is going to record your screen as well as your voice, right? So you'll be showing your screen like Margie is now, but you can dictate and speak and kind of create a whole video that is a screencast. And so this can be really powerful as a math teacher or a teacher of any subject because you can be showing your screen and kind of demonstrating to kids what to do. Everything from showing them how to use tools in Kami, like we're doing right now, or how to solve a math problem. Likewise, our students can use this tool as well to demonstrate their understanding of different concepts and procedures. So, Margie, do you want to do a quick demo of that?
Sure. This is one of my favorite tools because as a teacher, I can clone myself. I can put my instruction right into my document, right into my activity my students are working on, so they can watch, rewatch, or do whatever they need to do as they're working. So with the screen capture comment, I've clicked on comment already. I'm going to choose screen capture. Now, you can also pick a color because you're going to click somewhere on your screen to start the recording. I usually use red like a stop sign, but for today, I'm going to pick purple. Now, once you drop your anchor dot somewhere onto your learning activity, it'll start recording. I have multiple screens, so I first need to tell it what I want it to record. And that's it. I am already recording. I can decide if I want to enable or disable my camera so my students can see me as well as my screen or just my screen, depending on the situation and what my needs are. As I'm going through here, as the teacher, I'll see the preview and everything that my students are going to see. So I'll know I've captured exactly what I need to show them. From there, I can come in and use any of my Kami tools to show the students what to do, or to work through things, or solve a math problem like Offer said. Once I've finished, I simply click Done. That embeds right inside my learning activity. And for every screen capture or video comment I make, I have up to 20 minutes to record. So I could do an entire mini lesson if I need to.
Wow, Margie. So when I've used screen recording tools in the past, I've had to take that video out of that program, right? And store it in my Google Drive or upload it to YouTube. But here, it just attached it right to the learning activity for students.
It sure did. And if you're on a collaborative activity, it's instantly embedded. So as soon as you've clicked done, they can already see it.
Wow. So a really neat way for teachers to maybe even be able to do live notes with their kids. So being able to kind of demonstrate, maybe they're using an interactive whiteboard with Kami and they're showing how to solve that math problem, which by the way, I absolutely thought that was going to be 2/4 until I realized that denominator stays the same. See, this is why I'm not teaching math today. So, but it does make sense. 1/2 and 1/2 equals one. But anyway, thanks, Margie, for showing that screen capture. That's fantastic. I see this as such a cool possibility, even beyond the realm of math, right? So thinking about, a teacher who's working on essay writing, maybe showing kids here, go over to this other website because when you're recording your whole screen, as you chose, you can navigate back and forth between different tabs and be able to show students head over to this website, do some research here, then come on back over and do the work within the Kami document or whatever. So that's fantastic. I love it. I think the last thing we wanted to show, Margie, was the equation tool. So you wrote out 1/2 plus 1/2 just with that drawing tool, but we do have that equation editor. Do you want to demonstrate that as well?
Absolutely. With the equation editor, you have access to all the more advanced math and science symbols, so you can insert them quickly and easily. To get the symbol you're looking for, after you click on the equation tool and select a font size and color, click on Insert Symbol. From here, you can choose a symbol quickly and navigate and scroll to find the one that you need, or simply search. Maybe for this one, I want the actual division sign. So I've started typing the word divide, and here it is. So you can click on the screen, click that symbol, and you've got it exactly where you need it.
Nice.
Now, Avra, there's actually another way to get to all of the things available in our equation tool from the text box. Did you know that?
I've seen the little symbol, but I don't do it a lot. Can you show how that works?
Sure. When you click on the text box, once you click and put your cursor somewhere on the screen, you get this entire rich text editor across the top. This is actually my favorite way to bring in some of the math tools and symbols because from this text box, you can insert subscripts and superscripts. So if you have somebody who's doing those more advanced levels of math and you need to type exponents, you can do that right from in the text box. And
So,
as you're typing and you need an equation symbol, you just come right over here to the formula button, the f of x icon. When you click that, it brings up a specialized menu bar where you can get to all of the symbols that are inside the equation tool. So maybe for this one, we'll say x squared is greater than. And then when I'm ready to go back to the text box and I want that rich text editor across my screen again, all you need to do is press the right arrow key on your keyboard to continue typing, and it jumps back to the rich text editor.
and so now you can type on your keyboard. So when you typed to get that X, you typed the letter X on your keyboard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And
So,
then it can even do things like fractions.
oh, cool. Can you show that?
Sure, if you want to type a fraction, you could say, I'll just type on the keyboard first. This is how students generally type fractions, right? 1 and then the backslash 2 for 1/2. But with Kami, if you want it to look like an actual fraction, you can press that f of x button. And this time, when you type 1 backslash 2, instead of looking the way it did a moment ago, it actually looks like you've typed out the fraction.
Okay, you are teaching me something new here. So did you click on one of those symbols in that menu? No, you
I
just clicked on the f of x and then typed 1/2?
I sure did.
Oh, wow.
And when
That's
I'm ready to go back, it's just right arrow key and then right arrow key again to get out of the formula menu and back to the rich text editor bar.
neat. So that's something probably that students and teachers will play with and will get better and better each time they use it. Just like any other digital tools, there's some practice that's needed in order to kind of get to that place of fluency, right? But this is really, really an awesome thing because there's so much possibility here. I feel like it makes the lives of folks who are learning math and teaching math so much easier.
Yeah, and we really have options to meet you wherever you are in your digital journey.
So, speaking of that, Margie, just as we kind of finish up, if people have questions about anything that we've explored today in this video, what should they do?
Ooh, that's a great question. The easiest thing you can do when you're on a Kami document is just to come down to the bottom right corner to the question mark and our help menu. Because inside the help menu, there's a link where you can actually book free training with anyone on the teaching and learning team. So other teaching and learning coordinators, in addition to Avra and myself, we're all here to help you at a time that's good for you. So all you have to do from a Kami doc is click that question mark, click the link, and then fill out the information to book free training anytime.
And that's going to take them to a real live person, not just a bot or anything like that. This is an AI. This is a real person on our team. So, guys, I'm kind of being silly a little bit here because I know the answer to this as well. But take a look. You can pick your location. And then, like Margie said, there are 10, maybe 12 of us now. I can't remember exactly how many, but we are all former teachers, classroom teachers. We are all current educators. Many of us have been technology coordinators, technology directors, other admins, and many of us have advanced degrees. So we really know pedagogy. We also really know what it's like to be in the classroom. And it is our job and our greatest pleasure to help you all as you are exploring the tools in Kami. So we hope that throughout this video and Margie's amazing demonstration, thank you, Margie. We hope that you have gleaned some new ways that you can use Kami with your students. And we hope that you won't hesitate to reach out to us at any time if there's anything that we can do to support you. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. Thanks, Margie, for coming today. I appreciate you being my math whiz.
You're so welcome anytime.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.